Hello, Modern World History students. Mrs. Pascogan here. So we're starting a new project. Good job for those of you who completed the first project on the Enlightenment, and there's still many of you that need to finish it. So it is now overdue. So, try to finish that as soon as possible. Okay, because now we're moving along to a new one. And for this one, we're going to talk about revolution. So how do people create a revolution? And to be able to answer that, you need to even know, first of all, what is a revolution? So what is a revolution? Now, to do that, I want you to take a look at the lesson you're going to be working on this week. It's our 6E lesson, What is a Revolution? So our learning target is I can explain, by the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain the meaning of a revolution and gain an overview of the project. Okay, so your task, create a KWL chart on the term revolution and complete the first column on what you already know about revolutions and the second column on what you want to know about revolutions. So you could click this and it'll bring up this. You can actually type and do this on here. So do the first column, what I know about revolutions, and the second one, what I want to know about revolutions. Okay, so just anything that comes to mind that you know about revolutions and what do you want to know. And then you're going to save the last column for after you've learned about it. And then here's where you put what you learned. Okay, so that's my way to assess what you've learned. So in this project, you will learn about the French Revolution and determine if you feel it was successful. So let me go in here. This is where you are. In Summit. Oops, what did I do here? Hang on. I can't move this down now. I'm trying to move this whole project down. I mean the screen. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so you're now on the revolutions essay. And we're doing the project overview. I'm going to walk you through what the project is about today. And we're going to kickstart it with just learning about what a revolution is. And that's going to become checkpoint 1. It'll go right above this. Okay. So what you're going to do here for the Explorer, you're going to read what is a revolution. So you're going to simply read this slide here on what is a revolution. Okay, there's 3 terms: revolution, rebellion, revolt, and movement. And then I want you to watch or view these images. So there's some pictures here that you're going to look at on revolutions. So what do you see in these images? So you're going to look at these different pictures. And obviously you're not going to go as fast as I did. You're going to take your time and you're going to study them. Then you're going to answer these questions. What do you see in these images? What do they tell you about revolutions? Based on these images, what hypothesis could you make? So what conclusion could you come to about the importance of groups of people in a revolution? And then you're also going to look at strategies and tactics. And I have these questions here in addition to on the slide. But you're going to look at, so what tactics or techniques, what do these people actually do in these revolutions? So look at these images. What do you see happening? Again, you're going to go through slowly and look at each one. So what do you see in these images? What tactics or strategies do you see being used? How have tactics and strategies changed over time? And then for the do, I want you to do these flashcards, just a few flashcards on these important terms that you studied and read about in this first one. And then I just want you to write a sentence or 2 on what you learned. What is a revolution? So write that in your own words. Then for the evaluate, you will just take a very short matching quiz to test what you learned on those terms. Then for the elaborate, you're going to complete the last column of your KWL chart that you started about revolution. So this is when you get to finish the L on what you learned, about revolutions as a result of this lesson. And then finally, you'll end with the express, the final E, the self-assessment on how you feel about your learning. And then how much did you know about revolutions before we started? So and then you just type your answer right there. Okay, so this is a way to just sort of kickstart this project, get you, warmed up with it. And before I leave you, I do want to just touch on just give you a real quick overview of what you are doing in this project. You're going to learn about the French Revolution. It's one of my favorites. Use historical evidence to write an essay answering the compelling question, was the French Revolution successful? So you're going to have to learn a good bit about it to be able then to, come to your own conclusion if you feel it was successful or not. I can't stress enough. I think some of you are trying to get by skipping these checkpoints, or you're just really not reading the documents thoroughly, and that's not going to work. You really have to read through these document sets and the checkpoints. Is so important because that's where you're learning and that's where you're getting your evidence. Because with this, you are writing your first essay. It's not just a paragraph. You're writing multiple paragraphs. You're writing an essay. So don't think there are no shortcuts. All these readings are really important. Investigate a current unfinished revolution. So again, you're going to look at some now current events, current revolutions. Then you're going to create a group poster that makes an argument about whether the unfinished revolution is indeed a revolution. So you get to use your creativity and your artistic skills there. And then here are the COG skills that you're going to be assessed on. You already have been doing a lot of these. We did a lesson on argumentative claim, selection of evidence, explanation of evidence, integration of evidence, a lot of evidence, introduction, conclusion, that's going to be your essay, making connections and inferences, and selecting relevant sources. So let's see, is there anything I didn't talk to you about here? So here's what I want you to do as you're going through my lesson and you're getting started with this project. I want you to just explore, look around, get familiar. I want you to look at these two stars here, the two final products, to get a feel for what you're building up to, because this is the whole, what all these checkpoints lead to. So you can start brainstorming and thinking about them. So I'm going to give you, I think until, I got to paste this out, but probably this won't be due till December. So you have some time, but with, Thanksgiving break and, the holidays, you're going to have to really make sure you're pacing yourself and you're doing your work. Aim for, you're going to be doing 2 checkpoints a week. You're going to be doing my lesson in addition to one of these checkpoints here. So just, let that be your guide. You should be doing 2 checkpoints a week. All right, if you have any questions or concerns while you're working on this, you know where to find me. Send me a hangout, send me an email. All right, you have a great week.